The biggest threat standing between Argentina and another World Cup celebration is not a defender, not a goalkeeper, and not even the strongest team on the planet. It is something far more dangerous because you cannot tackle it, you cannot send it off, and you cannot stop it with a tactical change. It is a question that has started spreading across football fans everywhere. A question that FIFA desperately wants people to ignore. Is this just another legendary World Cup story being written in front of our eyes? Or is there something happening behind the scenes that is making millions of fans suspicious? Because in football history, the biggest controversies have never started with one single moment. They start with a collection of small moments. A decision here, a missed call there, a strange coincidence that seems harmless by itself. But when fans start connecting those moments together, suddenly the conversation changes. And that is exactly what is happening right now. Argentina entered this tournament carrying the weight of history. They are the defending champions. They have the greatest generation of talent. And of course, they have Lionel Messi, the player millions of people believe was destined to complete football's greatest story. But here is where things become complicated. When a team becomes too powerful, every decision around them gets examined under a microscope. Every penalty becomes a debate. Every referee decision becomes a headline. Every controversial moment becomes another piece of a much bigger argument. Supporters say Argentina is simply too good, too experienced, and too mentally strong. Critics say the number of favorable moments surrounding them is becoming impossible to ignore. And now, after several controversial incidents, the internet has created a storm that FIFA cannot simply delete. But before we decide whether this is reality or just another football conspiracy, we have to go back to the moments that started making people question everything. Because the first warning sign did not come from a final. It did not come from a trophy celebration. It came from a match where one decision completely changed the conversation around this World Cup. The moment that pushed the controversy into another level came from a match that should have been remembered as a classic comeback story. Instead, it became one of the most debated games of the entire tournament. Argentina were struggling. Their opponents had found a way to hurt them, and for long periods of the match, the defending champions looked uncomfortable. Then everything changed in a matter of minutes. A comeback began. Goals arrived. The stadium exploded. Millions of fans watched one of football's most dramatic turnarounds. For Argentina supporters, it was proof of character. Proof that champions find a way when everything is against them. But for the critics, the comeback created a completely different conversation. Because before Argentina completed the turnaround, a controversial moment had already happened. A goal from the opposition was ruled out after a review. The officials pointed to an earlier incident in the build-up, saying the decision was correct according to the rules. And technically, that explanation existed. But football is not played inside a rulebook alone. Football is played through emotions, reactions, and perception. And once millions of people believe something feels wrong, explaining the rule does not always remove the suspicion. That is the biggest challenge FIFA faces. The problem is not only whether one decision was correct or incorrect. The bigger problem is trust. Fans can accept mistakes. They know referees are human. They understand that football decisions happen in fractions of a second. But what fans struggle to accept is the feeling that the same situation might be judged differently depending on which team is involved. And this is where the Argentina debate became bigger than one match. People started looking at previous moments. They started comparing referee decisions, yellow cards, penalties, and important calls. Every old clip was brought back. Every forgotten incident became new evidence for someone's argument. Some fans saw a champion team being unfairly attacked because of its greatness. Others saw a pattern that deserved investigation. And when a tournament reaches the point where every decision creates a worldwide debate, the real battle is no longer happening on the pitch. It is happening in the minds of millions of viewers watching from around the world. Because in football, perception can sometimes become just as powerful as reality. But the controversy did not grow because of one match alone. The reason it became such a huge story is because fans started collecting moments that, individually, looked explainable but together created a much bigger conversation. One of the biggest discussions was about discipline and referee decisions. Fans began comparing how different teams were treated during matches. Some noticed that certain teams appeared to receive more warnings, while others seemed to escape punishment for similar situations. Now, this does not automatically prove anything. Football has always been full of referee mistakes, different interpretations, and moments where two people can watch the same incident and see completely different things. But statistics and comparisons have a strange power. When numbers appear on a screen, fans start searching for patterns. And that is exactly what happened. Every tackle became a debate. Every yellow card became a discussion. Every penalty decision became another reason for people to argue about whether the competition was truly equal for everyone. Then came another moment that added fuel to the fire. When officials and football leaders publicly defended the tournament's integrity, many fans had a simple reaction. Why does everyone keep talking about fairness if there is no problem? Of course, defending referees is normal. Officials face incredible pressure, and accusations without evidence can damage their careers and even create dangerous situations. But communication matters. When fans feel ignored, silence creates more questions. When explanations come too late, people often believe they are hearing a response instead of the truth. This is the difficult situation FIFA finds itself in. The organization wants fans to trust the competition. But trust is not created by simply saying, everything is fine. Trust is created when people understand decisions, when rules are applied consistently, and when transparency becomes stronger than suspicion. And this is why the Argentina controversy became bigger than Argentina itself. Because behind the debate about one team is a much larger question. Can modern football still convince billions of fans that every match is decided only by the players on the field? Or has technology, money, politics, and constant global attention created a world where every controversial moment becomes a mystery waiting to be solved? And the next piece of this story takes us even deeper, because Argentina is not the only reason people have started questioning FIFA's decisions. The strange thing about this World Cup controversy is that the doubts did not come from only one direction. Argentina became the center of attention, but FIFA's credibility was already facing pressure from several other decisions that had nothing to do with Messi or the defending champions. One of the biggest problems in modern football is consistency. Fans do not expect referees to be perfect. They know mistakes will happen. They know the speed of the game makes every decision difficult. But what they demand is one simple thing: the same rules for everyone. And when two similar incidents receive completely different punishments, frustration begins to grow. That is exactly what happened during several major moments of this tournament. One player could receive a strict punishment while another player in a similar situation appeared to receive a lighter outcome. Suddenly, the conversation changed from individual decisions to the entire system. People began asking questions. Who decides these punishments? Are the rules being applied equally? Are outside influences affecting decisions? And most importantly, can fans still believe that every team is starting from the same position? FIFA has always carried the responsibility of protecting the image of football. The World Cup is not just a tournament. It is the biggest sporting event on earth. Every decision is watched by billions of people. That means every controversy becomes bigger. A normal mistake in a regular match might disappear after a few days. But at the World Cup, one decision can become a global debate within minutes. Social media turns every angle into evidence, every opinion into a headline, and every disagreement into a worldwide argument. This is the new reality of football. Technology was introduced to remove mistakes, but sometimes it has created even more discussion. Slow-motion replays show details that human eyes could never see during live action. But they also create endless debates about whether the spirit of the game is being lost. Was the decision correct according to the rules? Maybe. But did millions of fans understand and trust that decision? That is the question FIFA cannot ignore. Because the greatest danger to any sport is not criticism. Criticism means people care. The greatest danger is when people stop believing. And as this World Cup continues, the biggest challenge may not be deciding who lifts the trophy. It may be proving that whoever lifts it truly earned every single moment on the way there. But before anyone reaches a final conclusion, there is one important question that must be answered. Are we looking at a real problem, or are we simply searching for a hidden story because the biggest stars are involved? Because history has shown us something very interesting about football. Whenever a legendary player is close to creating history, the entire world watches differently. Every decision becomes bigger. Every mistake becomes louder. Every controversial moment becomes impossible to ignore. Lionel Messi's journey is the perfect example. For years, millions of fans wanted to see him lift the biggest trophy in football. When it finally happened, it became one of the greatest stories the sport had ever produced. But at the same time, some people immediately searched for reasons to question it. That is the difficult balance between greatness and suspicion. A champion can be genuinely brilliant and still be surrounded by controversy. Both things can exist at the same time. Argentina may have the quality to defeat any team in the world. Their players have talent, experience, and the mentality required to win at the highest level. No conspiracy is needed to explain why they are dangerous. But FIFA also has a responsibility. The organization must understand that modern fans do not only watch matches anymore. They analyze every frame, every statistic, and every decision. The era where people simply accepted explanations without questions is gone. Today, trust must be earned through transparency. Because in the end, the biggest victory for any World Cup is not just a team lifting the trophy. It is millions of fans believing that the trophy was won fairly. Maybe Argentina is simply writing another historic chapter. Maybe they are just too good for everyone else. Maybe every controversial moment has a normal explanation. Or maybe FIFA has created an environment where doubts grow faster than answers. And that is the real story. Not whether one team is protected. Not whether one referee made one mistake. The real story is whether football's biggest stage can protect the most valuable thing it has. Trust. Because a trophy can be lifted in one night. But credibility takes years to build. So now the question goes to you. Are fans seeing a real pattern? Or are emotions creating a story bigger than the facts? Is Argentina being helped? Or are they simply proving once again why they are champions? Let us know your opinion, because in football, the debate never truly ends when the